The Guardians Behind the City in a Garden, Aaron Montgomery Ward and Friends. In 1836, Gurdon Hubbard, William F. Thornton, and William B. Archer were in charge of constructing the sanitary and ship canal and didn't want to sell the area around the lakefront, and wrote a statement on the map, a common to be forever open, free, and clear of any buildings or other obstructions whatsoever. This sparked the inspiration of entrepreneur Aaron Montgomery Ward to fight for the public access and that there would be no buildings on the lakefront whatsoever. Aaron Montgomery Ward was born in New Jersey, and their family later moved to Michigan. Ward left his family to look for work in Chicago. He started a small business, but the business was destroyed when the Chicago fire started. This did not stop him, and he started again. He had the idea of catalogs, that people could just order and the items would be sent to them. Ward had to handwrite every single catalog, but people thought he was crazy and they burned his hard work. This did not stop Ward, and his company eventually grew. Aaron Montgomery Ward started his 20-year battle in 1890 by suing the city of Chicago to dismantle buildings across the lakefront. Many people didn't like his idea of an open lakefront. They thought he was getting in the way of progress, because they thought that building meant progress. Ward believed that the lakefront belonged to everyone, and it should be free of charge. He didn't care if people didn't like what he was doing now, but he wants people to recognize what he tried to do later on. Daniel Burnham started a firm with his fellow friend John Wellborn Root. The firm helped design buildings. They used old techniques but still made their buildings look modern. Daniel Burnham was in charge of designing the World's Columbian Exposition, but his friend Root died of pneumonia, and Charles Fallon McKinn replaced Root in the designing of the fair. After the exposition, Burnham went on to design the city of Chicago. Daniel Burnham envisioned Chicago in a different way. In 1909, he created the plan of Chicago. His plan included a large park system that surrounded Chicago. This plan was promoted by the Commercial Club. They helped print and supply funds to his project. His plan of Chicago was like Ward's, free and open to the public, but there was one difference. Ward wanted a clear lakefront, but Burnham wanted to have museums, cultural institutions, works of art, and etc. All things built on the lakefront will be used to promote the lakefront and to promote the lakefront's image. Burnham wanted to erect 3 sculptures on Grant Park, but before the plan was given the okay, Ward won one more court battle to never have anything built on Grant Park, period. Many organizations today, such as the Friends of the Park, are protecting the parks in the city of Chicago. For example, they are suing the city of Chicago to keep the George Lucas Museum out of the parks on the lakefront. The Lakefront Protection Ordinance is a group that decides what buildings can and cannot be built on the lakefront. Many wealthy patrons help to preserve the parks, such as Jay Pritzker. He helped by donating large amounts of money to help preserve the parks. Or Clarence F. Buckingham. She didn't like how people would own fountains and not spend money to maintain the fountains, so instead she donated a large fountain to be built, Buckingham Fountain. She also donated enough money to maintain this fountain indefinitely. These pictures would never exist without the fight that Aaron Montgomery Ward fought. The lakefront would have been covered in apartments, resorts, and other private properties. The lakefront is Chicago's most important resource. It is also a limited resource and should be cherished. So do your part and keep the lakefront clear and open like what Aaron Montgomery Ward did 120 years ago.